I haven't played Ranked yet this season, and to make the road to Unreal a bit more interesting, I decided to make a podcast out of it. My first guest is my good friend Aaron, with whom I founded Rocket Racing Sundays, a weekly rocket racing league. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey Aaron, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
What is Rocket Racing Sundays?
Rocket Racing Sundays is essentially a community league for obviously rocket racing, and the main sort of idea behind it is the idea that anyone at any rank, any skill level could participate, and it just sort of be a bit fun. Sundays is the name of my esports business, Sundays Esports, and we've been running Rocket League and Formula One since like 2018, 2019. So those are the same idea. Anyone at any skill level can come in. The general idea is sort of community and fun, and so that's how Rocket Racing Sundays came about.
So how did you start in the first place to do this with Sundays Esports?
So if we go way back to 2018, yeah, I remember playing Rocket League ranked, and it was with a friend, and I remember thinking like how cool it would be to just play the same people over and over again. So I know like in a league, so I know that I've got Team Blue next week, and I know how Team Blue play. They tend to play, say, a little bit forward, so we could play reserved, and we would play in our own colours, and we'd have our own team name, we would have our own logos and stuff. And at first, that was just like my mind running away with itself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did end up happening was I started like a PS group message of all the people that I knew, and just put the feelers out, and I got 5 teams, 6 teams together, including one from myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally just started from that. We moved to Discord about halfway through the season, and then we started streaming on Twitch, and then we put it out on Reddit, and then it just built from there, and it became its own sort of mini monster that it spans Rocket League, F1, and now Rocket Racing. We've been streaming on Twitch and operating as a business since 2019, and I mean the business doesn't make any money, but it allows us to be able to process things like prize funds and all the rest of it.
And how many members does Sundays Esports have in total right now?
So Sundays Esports, so the Rocket League side of things, I think the Discord is around maybe 1,500, 1,600 members, consistently getting between sort of 70 to 100 plus teams per season, depending on whether it's 2v2 or 3v3.
Damn, 100 plus teams, that's a lot.
Yeah, so I've not been particularly involved this year because of the birth of my son, but it spans across from basically sort of like the platinum diamond skill level all the way up to SSL.
Mm-hmm.
So we have divisions and cash prizes and qualifiers for those divisions, and yeah, it's a much more sophisticated machine than it was back when it was just 12 guys in a group chat on PlayStation.
Yeah, I would imagine, yeah.
For sure, it would not be what it is today without the people that became involved on the staffing side of things. Definitely Herbie, who you've had a few brief interactions with. Right,
yeah, I've met Herbie,
yeah. Yeah, and D'Amato, who essentially runs the F1 side of things. Those are the guys that have like sort of been around the longest, but definitely there are people on the team, past and present, that have really helped make it what it is.
And the cool thing is, at least I'm assuming everybody who's involved is just doing this for fun anyways. Nobody's getting paid, nobody is like expecting anything else from it.
Oh, no.
So it's like totally community run. Just like our relatively small Rocket Racing Sundays operation that stands next to that.
Yeah, but I think that just is sort of indicative of the player pool of Rocket Racing anyway.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, there are plenty of enthusiastic people within the community, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
but that don't play or say they'll play, and then sort of. I think it's hard when everybody involved is fast and nobody likes to lose.
Yes.
It's very hard to foster that for fun community feeling. There are fast people and slower people that play right now. They just play for fun, play to be there.
Yeah.
But I know there are some people that I think probably avoid it because they don't want the feeling of getting maybe rolled. But I think the more people we have, the more balanced those matches become.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the problem is also that because the community is so small, I think only the people that are really invested into the game are the people that are on Discord. I mean, obviously there's a couple of people who are not like top level players who are on Discord, but I think most people that are on Discord are like at least Unreal. Most of them probably like higher level Unreal. So
yeah.
And that makes it also a little bit more difficult to reach out to people and ask them if they want to play, of course. Like low level players.
And people are interested in it, but it's they are right. It isn't fun getting beaten by 15 seconds every race by certain players. So I'm sure you've got a couple of people in mind when I say that.
But I also know that some people that are very good players, and I've reached out to them, that they would only be interested in playing if there was a cash prize involved, which we are actually going to do for this season of Rocket Racing Sundays. We are going to, maybe even today we can discuss, like after the recording is done, maybe we can discuss how high the prize pool is gonna be and what kind of distribution we're gonna have. But yeah, to motivate some more players to participate, we are planning on putting a cash prize for this season.
So I think that's the other part that is maybe sort of holding us back a little bit. Like, we have cash prizes for the Rocket League side of things, but that's at all levels, right? So you could be diamond, diamond and champ, that sort of level, and if you're in the right sort of division and you perform, you'll take home a little bit of money, and that's the idea. Is it? I think for Rocket Racing, there's so many good players that seem to be desperate for a professional scene, but aren't willing to let the competitive scene develop without that cash incentive.
Yeah.
And I think that's really difficult for a game with already such a low player base.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
For it developing, like, I know around the time we came up, or I should say, I know around the time Rocket Sunday sort of was up and coming a little bit, there were others doing the exact same thing we were doing. Some did it better, some did it, in a different way. We do pre-made teams, some were doing franchises, some had bigger prize pools, some had no prize pools.
Mm-hmm.
But because that grassroots esports scene was developing, it really allowed those that are still sticking around to sort of make it something bigger.
Yeah.
And we didn't have prize pools for a long time. We've worked our way to being sponsored a few times, having sponsorships.
Oh, nice. What kind of sponsors did you get?
There was there was a coaching organization called Valor, Australian guys, great guys.
Okay.
And they put some money in, and the idea was that we were going to help source players to do their coaching program for free.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem we found with that was there was a lot of teenagers that just didn't want to put that time in.
Oh, yeah.
They would sign up to it, and then there was also a bit of difficulty with myself. I was working a lot at the time, so processing all that information for them was also difficult, and ultimately it wasn't as successful partnership as I would have liked, and I do have a few regrets about that. But I don't think we
Yeah.
necessarily left on bad terms, and Valor still operate today. I
Mhm.
know the sponsor we had, I think the longest sponsor we had was one of the players and a friend of mine that I met through Rocket League. Lewis, he owned a body shop.
Mhm.
He's a mechanic, and he just put some prize pool
Nice.
forward every season for a good number of years. I think it was like maybe like 2 years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in the space of all things considered, 2 years. I think it's maybe around 5 seasons, 6 seasons. It's a long time, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's the optimal thing, though, I think. If you have someone within the community who can have the resources to support stuff like this, if they really feel like that.
Yeah, and that wasn't something that we had to sort of say go begging for. We did ask if he wanted to return as a sponsor on numerous occasions, but he did it because he wanted to support us. He wanted to support the this thing that he was a part of that he really enjoyed. He wanted it to continue, and I think there's perhaps a lot of good players in Rocket Racing that are just hoping somebody with money will come along somewhere and make things happen, but unfortunately it doesn't necessarily work that way. I
Yeah.
know in the early days there was like the Johnny Boy stuff and the salt mine, but Rocket Racing just isn't big enough. It isn't
Yeah.
big enough, and in my opinion, it needs to grow from the bottom first before we can sort of reach anywhere near big prize pools. And we can get highly competitive tournaments, but nobody wants to play in them if they don't. If nobody wants to risk losing to another good player unless there's money on the line.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit unfortunate way to that things are, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, the people are maybe a little bit too serious sometimes about like reputation and stuff, I think.
Yeah, possibly, and that's okay if you take yourself seriously.
I mean, to be fair, some people just yes. I mean, some people put so much time into this game that obviously they want to keep the reputation of being like one of the best, and then like if they make a mistake that maybe someone doesn't see in a race or some stuff happens that is not supposed to, like it can in Rocket Racing at all times, because there is still a lot of bugs and a lot of things that are wrong with the game, and
Yeah.
they might avoid that like losing opportunity.
Yeah, but whilst I agree, I mean, it's gonna ultimately come to potentially just wasted time if the competitive scene can't properly grow,
Yeah.
because everyone has expectations for it to be. Oh no, sorry, I died.
Yeah, me too. At the same time.
For those expectations to be met with the same way that Fortnite has its cash cups. We're never going to get cash cups here
No.
unless we show that people are actually going to show for it. Otherwise Epic or Psyonix are just throwing money at the same 5 people.
Yeah. There's not a lot of competitiveness otherwise. Like there's I mean, usually when you're in a race, you can like even in ranked, you can tell who's gonna win, who's not, like who's gonna be second, who's gonna be third. That's usually how it goes, because everybody knows each other, and because the player base is so small, the skill gap between the best of the best and then like the second best people, like category of people, this skill gap is so big, it's crazy. Maybe this is a good time to also explain the format of Rocket Racing Sundays, like how does a match day actually go?
So, if you're not familiar with it, we do five maps, and we do a speed run. So the full 7 minutes, and during that time, you set a time as you do in speed run, but you can use that time however you want. If you want to go make a drink, go to the toilet, watch a world record run, spectate other players, use it just to warm up to the track, practice the track. It's up to you. And then the based on where you finish in the times leaderboard is how many points you will get for that speedrun, and it'll be single points for the speedrun. And then we do the race. So on the same track. Oh, I just accidentally used my turbo.
Oh no.
So we do the race on the same map, and that is double points, and it's just one-time deal. We do that race one time, and then we move on to the next map and the next speedrun. And so your performance throughout is then added up, of course, and put into one big ladder. And sorry, I was just concentrating too much. The one big ladder, and yeah, you can only move up. You can't lose points, of course, but you know, if you don't play or you have a bad week, then you know people will overtake you. And that's where I was about to come in with the, you know, the consistency thing of you really get to see who's more consistent in which game mode. We found that early on that there were some players that were absolutely dominating speedrun, and then other players that were dominating nearly every race. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Some players are just more familiar with the speedrun. I mean, there's people who really like, if they play ranked, then they play until Unreal, and then they don't touch ranked anymore at all this season, and they just go for speedruns.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Dylan comes to mind. Dylan does it like that. I don't think he plays ranked after getting to Unreal. I don't even know if he's Unreal yet, or if he's going for Unreal right now. But I mean, he's a bit of an exception because he usually also dominates the race mode. But we've had players who are like notable speedrunners from the community, who've not done as well in the race mode as you would think. And the race mode is double points. You cannot reset anything. So there's a bit of pressure also.
Yeah, it's a lot more pressure than the speedrun, and I think that's probably what I find exciting about the format is that, you know, it's almost like in a you know, an actual motorsport where you have your practice or qualifying sessions, and then you have the race, and it's the high pressure one. Like that is it. Like you have to perform.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't perform,
it's kind of a nice build up to everything.
It is, yeah, and it's fun to sort of like we have where we're sort of all chatting and joking, pre-lobby, and then a few people are talking in the speed run, and then when the race comes, like everyone is silent. The whole silent. It's so good.
Except when they call out that they just crashed or something.
Yeah. There's usually someone getting upset, but generally everybody is locked in and focused. And then then it's over, and we're, you know, it's all back to the fun of what happened in the race.
Yeah.
There's a few complaints maybe, but then we move on to the next one, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I really think if you've not played it, just give it a go. It doesn't matter if you're going to come 10-15 seconds behind everybody else.
Exactly.
The idea is it's just for fun, right? And if you want to improve at the game, the best way is to expose yourself and be friends with these better players. Is how I improved. I mean, it's bizarre. Like people say it at work, in real life, and when I talk about Rocket Racing, they'll say, "Oh, I'm like in the top 100, top 200, or whatever," and they'll be like, "Oh, wow," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's really bizarre because everybody I play with wouldn't say, oh, wow, I'm slower than pretty much everybody I know, everybody that plays in RRS, but statistically speaking, I think I could have, if you'd have pitted me against a random Unreal player from like the last day of the season I probably would have beat them."
Yeah, probably, and probably it wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, if you want to improve, the best way is to just be around better people, definitely.
Yeah, and never be afraid to ask questions. Like I've asked a lot of people a lot of questions about mechanics, about routes on maps, about how to improve. Like send them clips. Like some people in the community are always open to help out, to look at your replays, to point stuff out. So a lot of people are open to help. And also on Rocket Racing Dynasty, which Rocket Racing Sundays is a part of now, which I hope I can put a link in the description of the video too, so you can join that. We also have a coaching section in there now, and there's people in there who actively offer people coaching if they need help. So if you feel like you need help with something, you can also just go to places like this and just ask, because that's what they are there for. If you're hesitant to just ask a good player for help, because then you know for sure that there's like these people are actively looking to help people out.
Yeah, I don't want to throw too much shade at the subreddit, but really you need to get off the subreddit and get into the Discord with the names that you're seeing in your lobbies a lot. You know.
Yeah.
There are some that maybe will not be interested, but I think most people will want to help you out if they can. And I think as well, with regards to, you know, some people are probably thinking, well, I don't really have the time to put in to, you know, learning the mechanics, learning the routes. But I would say I'm probably at that barrier of not having a great deal of time. I think maybe you're the same. Not having that much time to put in and still being relatively good.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, statistically speaking, by percentage of players, you know, it is all relative at the end of the day. But so I think, like myself, I'm probably maybe as good as I can be without putting that extra time in, and I don't think I've put that much time into this game compared to everybody else that I play in Rocket Racing Sundays with, or that, you know, are sitting on the leaderboards. And I certainly think at least my level of skill is quite achievable.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it needs to be anything particularly grindy. I think just being around the right people, asking the right questions, because you know, it's fun to jump in a track with somebody else. When you're on your own, like I don't think I'd ever put the time in to learn a track if I wasn't, say, playing with yourself or Sir Louis.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have done it, but it was fun to do that, so I did it.
And that's how you get better the quickest. Also, if you look at routes, like go to speedrun.com, look at the speedrun routes, and try to learn them as best as you can. I mean, you can always see the current map rotation, which is always posted on the subreddit, or I think also right now it's on most Discords. They also have like a function where it auto reposts the current track rotation and just like practice the speedrun routes.
And it's always easier and more fun to do with somebody else, or with a lobby of people.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why Discord is so great to connect with these people, because it isn't a hugely popular game. So the likelihood that you have like a real life friend that also wants to play this game with you is very low.
Yep. The friends I play Rocket League with, we played a little bit of this game when it came out, and yeah, I think even I was sort of like, well, this is not it. But it was only through like people like Leth going, hang on, there's more to this, and then discovering, say, Lane's videos and shorts, and like this is what a mag flip is, and then having a look in the subreddit and going, well, actually there is a bit more to this. Yeah. Maybe it's kind of like Rocket League, where there's a set of physics, but then also sorry, I need to concentrate.
That's fine.
There's a set of physics, but also there's a weird way to manipulate those physics that the developers didn't intend. And now you have yourself a skill ceiling.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly what I found, and I think that's one of the things I enjoy the most about Rocket Racing. It's what I enjoy a lot about Rocket League, and I think I'm only around champ at the moment. I think the highest I've been is GC, but I never got to earn the rewards.
Oh damn, GC, that's pretty nice though.
Yeah.
I've never been higher than champ. I think champ 3. What's the lowest champ? I've been the lowest champ.
Lowest champ is champ 1.
Okay, champ 1. That's my peak.
Yeah, it's around where I sit at the moment, but I play it a lot less than I used to.
Oh yeah, so, same. Basically, since Rocket Racing came out, it's only Rocket Racing.
Yeah. Well, I did want to ask about like before Rocket Racing, because generally I found if you have put time and effort into another game or even something in real life, you tend to have an idea of how to get good at stuff faster. If that makes sense. and I'm just wondering like
What
what
am I
stuff you
doing?
played beforehand.
I've basically I've always played competitive games that run on very bad computers because I have a very bad PC, as you might guess from my bad graphics settings. I play in performance mode, so I could never play something that is actually requires a good computer. The game I played for the longest time, I think, was actually League of Legends, which was when I was at school, so long time ago. I think I played that for 7 years, and I'm very happy that I got off it. And I say that like it's a drug because it's like it is like it's a horrible experience, I think, especially if you don't have people to play with. And then like in my case, it was like after school when all like people started getting busy with university and stuff, and I got busy as well, and I also lost the people that I played League of Legends with. Yeah, and then it was just like a horrible experience. This game is just ass. But I was never good in League of Legends. I think my highest rank that I've ever reached was like the lowest diamond, which is still pretty good, but it's like nowhere near like any pro level. And then I just played Rocket League for a very long time with a friend of mine, basically until this game came out. And yeah, my peak in Rocket League was also just like champ. So I've never really been a great competitive gamer. I just liked playing competitive games, but not actually like practicing stuff. Like especially in Rocket League, I feel like the practicing aspect is so fucking boring. Going into free play and dribbling the ball or trying to learn air dribbles, like I've tried, and it's just a horrible experience for me.
Yeah, I think I agree. Even though I do use free play a little bit, and have done in the past when I've actively tried to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But these are around the times where like I was in every Rocket Sundays season. I was participating in every Rocket Sunday season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a general decent grasp on how to get better at things.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing with Fortnite. I got really into playing Fortnite. I'm the same as you as well. I play everything on performance mode. I don't have a particularly great PC, but I watched videos and I went into creative and I practiced edits and things like that. And I wouldn't, a tournament winner. I wasn't an absolute demon or anything, but I got to a level where, again, talking statistically, I was one of the better players.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if you reach GC anyways. I mean, GC is like top 0.6, or maybe that was... I'm just like trying to remember the Sunless video where he showed like what GC rank he is, and he said like 0.6, but I think he's GC3, so maybe that doesn't apply to you. I don't know what GC level you were at.
Oh, it was just the bottom one. I literally got inside, and then I won 5 games, towards the rewards to get the title, and then I ended up D-ranking and never getting back in. But
right,
the experience of after all this time, I'm finally in Grand Champ.
Yeah,
nice for a brief moment, but
it's rewarding.
It was the same with like just wanting to be good at Fortnite. I didn't want to be, world famous World Cup winner, but I wanted to be good, and I figured out how to be good. And I think I was better than a lot of people that I knew. So when Rocket Racing came around, and I realised that there are ways to manipulate the car and the physics, I was all over it straight away. Videos, practice, people, as I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it all sort of leads back to just enjoying competitive games as you do.
Yeah.
It's just something about it. It's just fun.
What is very noticeable though with this game is that a lot of the top players are like they have actual speed running experience from other games. Like, oh, I just died to nothing. Okay, that's great. Well, not to nothing, but I shouldn't have died there. Like for example, Dylan is used to be a pro Fall Guys speedrunner. I think also people like, I think Bros is also a speedrunner from some other game. Some other people like Ewards, obviously. Tiger Aura is a speedrunner. He obviously quit, but I think Diogi also, like a lot of these like top rocket racing players, they have speedrunning experience from previous games. So that obviously there must be something from that experience that like generally helps you, because they are familiar with maybe some like yeah, well, first of all, just playing games with precise inputs, and maybe that definitely translates to rocket racing. But then also, like, especially if you have experience in other games where stuff like momentum plays a role, or finding bugs or finding glitches, because a lot of these bugs and glitches follow the same kind of principles throughout different games, then you're gonna have a very big advantage over other people if you come in with that experience.
It's funny you say that. I've literally just picked up my phone, and my second notification is WR Curvy Canyon 2 glitch 31.281 Dylan.
Is it Dylan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. They have previous experience in these sorts of things, and that does set you up to be good at something. And maybe they hope, like maybe we did, that rocket racing would be a little bit more. And that there may be chances for a competitive scene that would be supported maybe by Epic. They like the cash cups. You know how insane a cash cup would be for rocket racing, just amongst the few hundred people we know that would show up for it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it did look promising in the beginning with all the player numbers. You can just Google the player counts of people, or also you can just Google the rankings for the first season to see how many people were in which rank. And it's actually insane. There's like, I think it's like over 5 million people tried this game. So there was a potential, but I mean, we all know what happened, and these things have been talked about so much. But I just got a freeze frame. Also, talking about freeze frames, funny thing that I noticed, and I actually have a clip of that. If you get a freeze frame, actually, yeah, your car doesn't move. You're just stuck there.
Yep, I've noticed that too.
So
it happened to me.
Yeah, having a bad computer is actually quite the nerf in this game.
Yeah, happens to me quite often. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
So going to, I just had something in mind. I'm gonna have to. It's because we started a race and I'm locked in. I'll figure out what it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Okay, yeah, I do know what I was gonna say. So I think if you look at the player count of any racing game and any speedrunning game, like sure, F1, Trackmania, Assetto Corsa, they're popular, but they're not pulling in Fortnite numbers. They're not pulling in Call of Duty numbers, right? They're not even. They might be pulling in Rocket League numbers. It might be worth looking at, actually. I think racing games, they either need to be super casual, like a Mario Kart style thing, or they will have their player base and that will be it.
Yeah. Either super casual or the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because I know that my brother, for example, he plays is it Assetto Corsa? I think it's Assetto Corsa. Yeah. And he like spent like thousands on a sim racing kit and stuff. And that's obviously the furthest away from a casual game. I think pretty much everybody who plays this game is in some kind of rec league. I don't think there's a single non-competitive player in these sim racing games.
Oh, for sure. And anyway, so I think that, if you're not really a racing game fan, this was never going to really hook you in the first place anyway. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm an F1 fan, right? I played F1, I played the odd racing game. I've never been particularly good at racing. It's probably the best racing game, the racing game I'm best at in my entire life at any point, But I like F1 in real life, and I like racing games, and there's a lot of crossover with the racing fans in Rocket League as well. in the Rocket League community as well. And I think if you're if you're not into it, if you're just playing it for the skin, or if you're just playing it to try it out, or if you're playing it because you play Rocket League and you're not that into racing, then you're never going to stick around anyway.
No.
The game has its flaws, but
Yeah,
there was a good
definitely.
chance we were always going to end up here regardless. It's a shame.
But yeah, the state of the game is a constant topic of discussion, and there have been many things. I mean, there have also been improvements. I think that they are definitely listening to stuff, because they did put in the casual mode, which a lot of people were asking for, which I have not touched and I'm probably never going to touch, but apparently a lot of people wanted this, so that's great. They have put in better cosmetics, I feel like. For example, now they have this very cool drift smoke that you can earn by getting Unreal. Like, I was so frustrated in after Season 0, because I thought for sure they were gonna give like a special reward to the people who reach Unreal, like apart from the like purple OEMs and whatever else we got, which was not a lot. Like the rewards were just so lackluster.
Yeah,
And I think
agree.
I think they've improved on that though.
Yeah, the Inferno Island update was good, because the Neon Rush update it was next to nothing, and they took away most of the XP rewards
Yeah.
for just completing races and speedruns.
Yeah, that was another point. Like, people are not playing the game because they don't earn XP for the battle pass.
Mm-hmm. I still believe there had to have been plans somewhere to like implement the Rocket Pass somehow, and that's just not been possible. I have to believe it's not been possible. I just don't see why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, same.
Especially because it's included with Fortnite Crew, and it's been included with Fortnite Crew for a while now. I'd imagine at least in the entire time Rocket Racing's been being developed. I'd be surprised if it was not thought about, and I just think that whatever's going on, they're just unable to make it work, which is a real shame, because it was another another thing that I was kind of looking forward to.
Yeah, I think
Being a
lot of
Rocket
people.
League player myself.
Okay, let me focus up here for the ending. Ah, shit. I messed it up.
Oh damn! I know you messed up, but I think I was gonna beat you anyway. I did well there.
Yeah, where the drop down was, I did the flip in the wrong direction, so I lost all my momentum. So that didn't help, and then I messed up the drifting. I just messed up all the ending bits basically. But yeah, right now I'm sitting at Diamond 150%. This is also another topic that we can talk about. The matchmaking changes. And this is something that splits a lot of people, and there's a lot of different opinions on this. But since they since they changed the matchmaking, I have no ambitions anymore to get a good ranking, because first of all there's no rewards for getting that, and for good players the MMR is basically up for grabs, because the matchmaking range is so high that I feel like half the people that you play in your Unreal games are like champions anyways. So there's just not enough competition. In Season 0, I think it was a lot better, because
But
you play against.
do you remember
people
how
who are-
long it took you to find a?
Oh yeah,
ranked
sure,
match?
yeah, sure. But I think that this is honestly, people cry too much in this game. I feel like about a lot of different things. Like, people cry too much about, oh, it takes so long to rank up. You gain so little percentage points in elite and in champion, and then about the queue times. And if you look at other competitive games, it's not very different. Like, I don't know how long the queue times are in SSL in Rocket League. But I know from watching streams back in the day for League of Legends, which is a huge game, that sometimes the best of the best, like the top 100 players, they also have to wait like 15 minutes for a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think if you are in the top 100 of any competitive game, then I think it's alright to wait a bit to play a game, because there's not a lot of players. If you always get put against players who are a lot worse than you, then I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Then your rank is not really indicative of your actual skill. And that's what we are seeing with the ladder anyways. I mean, obviously, a lot of the top players on the leaderboards definitely belong there where they are. But a lot of players who finished top 100 last season obviously do not belong into top 100.
I'm sure they would disagree with you.
They would probably disagree with me, but I mean, the reality is something else.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which, if I remember correctly, another reason why we wanted to set up Rocket Racing Sundays was because queue times were high. Then you were getting into a match with other really good people, and then nobody was having a good time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was another reason, like, oh yeah, queue times are high, but you know, we can do this, and we can have 5 matches back to back, and it's going to be competitive and fun. It's going to be people that we know, generally speaking. It'll be a nice little community thing.
Yeah.
And then you're right, they changed the matchmaking, and all hell broke loose on the subreddit because slower people weren't happy that they were getting fast people in their lobbies, which is understandable. But then some of those same people were complaining about how they should be Unreal and can't get Unreal because Unreal's were gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Which was bizarre.
I mean, it's like this in every game that to get to the highest rank, you do have to play against the people who are in that rank. Like the rank up games in Rocket League are the same, right? So if you are in the highest champion rank, the next game you have is gonna be against a grand champion, and you have to win that to rank up. And I think that's totally fine because you want to be in that rank, so you should be able to take down someone who's in that rank. The difference though is that in these bigger games, you play against someone who's like, wait, let me focus up here. Okay. The difference is that in these bigger games, you play against someone who's like just around the corner, like just on the edge of that new rank. So you're playing against the bottom of the barrel Grand Champ players as a champ who's trying to rank up. And the problem is with the matchmaking in Rocket Racing that as a champion you play against literally you can get matched against Spuns, who was like the rank 1 player the whole time basically for the last season. And obviously that's not fair at all. Like to get Unreal, you should not be able to play against like top 100 Unreal players to get there.
I mean, I improved a lot in the Neon Rush. Sorry, I need to return to lobby.
Yeah.
I improved a lot last season. And it was out of necessity because I was also experiencing the same thing. I was getting 6 to 8 man lobbies with Energy Wizard and X-Man and Spuns and all these other people that I was recognizing because they were always coming first by 2, 3, 4 seconds. So I had to get better. I figured out how to get better, and then I eventually got to Unreal. And there was a general sentiment across certain champ players is that, well, just get better is not good enough.
Yeah. Which I never understand though. Because I feel like some people, and I've watched like, because there have been so many YouTube videos from so many channels talking about why the game failed, like why is Rocket Racing dead and stuff. And a lot of these people were saying stuff like, you get so little percentage points, it takes such a long time to get Unreal, and all of these things. And I think it's such an entitled thing to say, because maybe it's because in the normal Fortnite, which I barely ever play anyways, maybe it's super easy to get Unreal, I don't know. But in any other competitive game, you usually play for years if you're not like sweating like crazy or super talented or whatever, and you never reach the highest rank. You never do. Like in Rocket League, like I'm now diamond something. In League of Legends, I was platinum for most of my like playing career. And I sat there and I was fine with it. I never complained that you don't get enough percentage points. Like if you are in champion and you cannot get to Unreal, maybe you belong into champion. And to get to Unreal, to get to the highest rank in a competitive video game, maybe you actually just have to put in time to get better. So I never understood people who have who make this argument that like, oh, you get two little percentage points. So I don't know, that's just strange to me.
The general consensus, for example, amongst the people I know that I play with that are like Diamond and Champ, is that it's easy to forget that that's like point, I don't know, that's like, you know, the top 1 or top 4% of all Rocket League players of that season, right? Very easy to forget that. But oh no, I used the turbo by accident.
Oh no.
But then the other thing is that they also accept that, you know, they don't have the time to be able to be one of the best players in the game. Because if they were one of the best players in the game, they would be one of the top ranks, right?
Right.
They don't just assume, well, I've played it long enough, I should be the top rank. Yeah. It's not fair. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be SSL. I don't have the time to be that good. Whereas, yeah, in Rocket Racing, definitely feels like rank isn't necessarily an indicator of skill.
No.
Definitely. You know, in Rocket League, I could probably say, well, you know, champs can probably do flip resets now, and you know, there's some diamonds that can do like double taps, and you know, maybe there's some golds that can now do air dribbles, and I could probably, you know, people can identify the rank by those mechanics and the way the car moves and the way they read the ball. But you can't do that in Rocket Racing because like, Unreal is such a mixed bag itself. I've seen some of the Unreal gameplay on the subreddit, and I would not have considered that it was somebody that was in Unreal.
No, definitely not.
And I think having this linear,
okay, just focus, finish the race, and then talk.
Yeah. Sorry. I think having the linear, it's a windy way, I just can't. So having that linear rank system is damaging because it gives the wrong idea of who should you. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. If you should be one of the best players if you're going to be the top rank.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be because you put the time in.
Exactly. I think also another thing that they should do for Rocket Racing is something that they have always done, or maybe just done for like a long time in League of Legends, where the highest ranked challenger has a cap on how many people can actually be in there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good way to do it, because I mean, this will actually show you normally in a game with a healthy player population that doesn't have a mess up matchmaking like Rocket Racing does. This will actually show you like these players have like the skill to be there, and then I think maybe it could be fine if you make like the experience to get to Unreal like a little bit easier for people. Maybe that would be something that I would be alright with, but with Unreal being the highest rank, I think it should be hard, it should be grindy, and you should have to put in time to get there. But yeah, apparently a lot of people disagree with that. They just want to be Unreal, and if they lose percentage points from losing matches, then that's not fair. And I mean, if you are serious about getting to Unreal, there's so many resources to help you get there. Like mainly the Discords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did see a lot of people that if it wasn't one thing that was unfair, it was something else that was unfair.
Yeah.
I think if you can sort of learn to let that go. Because, for example, when people were getting near to Unreal, I understood their pain. So in the first season, no.
We both crashed.
In the first season, it's our season 0 or whatever. I also got Unreal on my wife's PlayStation account. Like I did it on the PlayStation, so it's like Unreal on 2 platforms.
Yeah.
But I won pretty much every race until champ, and then I got 2% away from champ, and then had 2 race breaking bugs, and I couldn't help but feel like, oh my, this is intentional, you know. To have it happen once where I can't say move off the start line, fine, but then something else happened. I can't remember. I think I didn't respawn, or something like that, and I'm thinking, okay, well now this just feels like maybe people are getting punished for being near Unreal, but no, it's just random.
Yeah, of course.
And you just kind of have to accept that if you're going to play this game, we have to put up with these things.
I'm racing some weird lines here.
Yeah, I'm going to lock in because I think I came second or first. Oh yeah, I think I came first last time.
Last time you won,
Yeah.
I know that because I did not. I came in second. I'm so rusty. I have not played this game in like 2 weeks really. Because of my final exam. The only time in the year I get sick is this week.
Is that after your exam or before your exam?
No, I got sick on Monday and my exam was yesterday.
Okay. So it'll be something to do with like the stress being gone.
Oh shit. Dude, I've been crashing.
Oh, I almost took that.
Yeah, I've been crashing in front of the finish line for like 5 games already. That's
Are you
crazy.
trying to like bunny hop? Or
Yeah, I tried the B hop because I turboed too late, and NZ Diz was gonna take my spot, so I tried to like overtake them with the B hop, but I flew into the barrier. Curious to see how long it takes me to get to Unreal like this. I have a couple of people that I would like to get in here to talk to. I want to have some people from the community, like some more known people from the community, maybe some streamers or some people who are very active in the Discord, multiple Discords.
Yeah, I think getting streamers and some world record holders just to have a chat.
Yeah.
About the game, I think. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the first episode. We don't know how this is going to go, right? It could be like, oh my god, we were just talking absolute nonsense the whole time. Or it could be, you know, this sounds okay, and then, but who have you got in mind for, you know, future guests?
I don't want to call anybody out yet, just in case they don't want to be on there. But I know that, like, I already asked Spans if he wants to be on here, chat a little bit, and he was open to it. So maybe we can find a time where maybe he's not streaming and he's down to do this. But yeah, I am not gonna put anybody on the spot that I have not asked yet. And I've not really asked anyone else, I think. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I've asked Dylan, but Dylan doesn't use his mic. So that's not gonna fly, sadly. Or we have a Dylan's voice reveal.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be something. People would tune in for that. This map, by the way, I've just played like 3 times. I cannot figure it out for some reason. I don't know where to turbo.
Where I'm turboing it isn't where everybody else seems to be turboing, so I don't know if I'm doing wrong or whether what I'm doing is fast and I'm just slow in other areas.
See, now I have 3 turbos again. That can't be right.
Yeah, to be fair, I have 3 turbos right now. I just use one.
And this corner is also something else. Overall, though, I really enjoy the new maps.
Yeah, me too.
Except for the ones that for the one that everybody complains about, the Basalt Burrow, I think is the name. Yeah, that one is hard.
I would have to play it to know which one you were on about. Can't think of which one it is off the top of my head.
The difficult one.
I don't know. I feel like they all have a great deal of difficulty.
If you want to execute the world record rods anyways, yeah. But I've been carrying 3 turbos for the longest time again. Because I just don't know where to use them. Am I gonna get you though? How many turbos you got? Oh no. Oh, I have another one. Yes!
I made a mistake with my drift, and I basically just lost so much speed.
We're getting smoked by 5 seconds still.
Yeah, but that would be like that'll be a world record route or something.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that's probably something that I'm gonna do before the next session of this. Just like go in and practice the 3-lap routes. And then maybe I'm going to try to attempt what I've attempted for the previous season, where for the Neon Rush maps I tried to get top 10 on every speedrun map. That could be a nice idea, but I think I'm gonna start doing that when I'm Unreal maybe, because otherwise I just want to get to Unreal, and then probably I'm only gonna play ranked sometimes for fun with people. Because as I said before, I don't really care about the rank this season anymore. I care about being better than people, not being higher ranked.
Well, I think it's fine, because if you're gonna have sessions where you're talking for a couple of hours, you don't want to rank up too quickly. Otherwise, the series will be over.
I mean, with the way it's been going, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Because obviously, if I just played in in Diamond right now, and there's no crazy smurfs, then I'm gonna be first every time. And here I'm messing up so much. People are beating me a lot. Oh, this is always sketchy. Manuel Trüll is on my ass right now. Probably French, I would assume, which would explain why they are so good.
The French are like statistically the best country at Rocket League, I think.
Rocket Racing, yeah.
And yeah, I guess Rocket Racing too.
Oh, Rocket League too, yeah, true.
Yeah, actually. Rocket League, yeah.
Oh fuck, made a mistake.
No, what? No.
What happened?
I somehow mag flipped to the ceiling, so then I tried to flip down and it flipped me sideways, and then I lost all of my speed. And then I was just jumping and flipping back up to the ceiling, and I had to reset the car. Like it just wasn't dying.
Oh no. Can I beat Manuel? Oh. Also in this like Olympus style thing, I found it helps if you jump earlier. It's obviously not as fast as driving right up to the corner, but it really makes aiming for the little hole a lot more consistent for me.
I don't take that route.
Oh, you go down?
Yeah.
I don't even know how much slower that is, but it's definitely slower.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Okay, easy first, not even close. There must have been something horrible happening to Manuel.
I took third, but I did die, so I think that I would have been a bit closer had I not.
And we are at 91%. Very nice. Maybe next game I'm gonna be Diamond 2. I have this bad habit of sometimes like reacting to either to rage bait content on the internet or like leaving comments and like starting discussions with people who have different opinions to me. And there's a German YouTuber who made a video about rocket racing and why it failed. And he basically said in his video, like, one of the points why rocket racing failed is that, like, after he said, like, after a couple hours of gaming or like playing for a while, you have all the mechanics mastered already. And this and he also said, like, the skill ceiling in this game is not very high. And I thought that's such a crazy thing to say, because the game is it's like, it's not even a year old. So many things have been discovered that wouldn't even be thinkable in the start. So wait, what the fuck happened to me? Wait, I think I did like speedrun start or something? No, I don't even know. No, what? Yeah, basically he said that, and that just like totally confused me. Because how can you say that from a game where it's such a young game, so many new mechanics are being discovered, and how can you say that the skill ceiling is so low? When also he's one of the people who says, like, I reached Unreal, so I'm one of the best players in the game. And you watch his gameplay and it's like horrendous. There's nothing. I mean, it's like he doesn't know how to drift right. He doesn't know how to flip in the right situations. He takes routes that are completely outrageous, like completely horrible routes, and he says he's like one of the best players in the game. It's like, what the fuck? No, obviously not. So yeah, that annoyed me a lot. So yeah, I totally understand the point that you made with like the mechanics being discovered and.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of like the thing I really like about, say, Rocket League is the ability to learn a flip reset the same way you could maybe learn to do kick-ups with a football, right? It's a skill, you know.
Right.
You don't need it. You don't need it to play football. You don't need flip resets to play Rocket League. But I like that that's a thing that is very much possible to do. It's something that, you know, it's a skill. It's a very specialized skill. But it gives you an advantage in that game, just like being able to control the ball, you know, in the air and kick it up over somebody's head or whatever.
Yeah.
Could give you an advantage in football. Same way a mag flip could give you an advantage in certain situations in rocket racing. The same way, knowing how to, I don't know, do 90s or triple edits or whatever. I'm not up to date on current mechanics of Fortnite. The point is, like, you could do all these things without learning them, but it's the fact that there is that depth to what you can do, and it's all discovered by the players. It's not like the developers have held your hand and said, so this is a mag flip, this is how you do the mag flip, and we put this in the game on purpose. It's a skill and essentially an exploit or a manipulation of physics.
Yeah, I mean the best example of that is probably the flip reset in Rocket League, which was also not an intended thing. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like someone found out that it is possible, and then it was abused, and the developers just left it in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the mag flip had a similar sort of story.
Yeah, they changed the physics of the flips with an update, and then just like it happens sometimes.
So yeah, so from what I understand is that like the mag flip um, has a similar sort of story to the flip reset in that it just wasn't intended. It was discovered and it wasn't patched out because why would you patch that out now? It's now a unique and skilled executable mechanic in the game.
Right. Yeah.
And I found with air roll, when they added air roll, that interested me because why would they do that, right?
Right.
There must be a reason for it. I still don't think we've found the true extent to which air roll is useful.
No,
I think we
definitely. I mean, one thing
might
that
be getting close.
yeah, I mean one thing that we already know when it comes to mag flips, and this is gonna lead into air rolls. One thing that we already know is that mag flips it basically works in the way that your car's wheels attach to an object, and the more wheels of yours attach to that object that your car is basically mag flipping towards, the stronger the mag flip is gonna be. So you could, in theory, and I mean probably in in the how do you say that?
I know where you're
Praxis?
going with this because it's exactly where I was going. You can
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
manipulate the speed and distance in which you mag flip by utilizing air roll.
Yeah, if you rotate your car in a
100%.
way that more of your wheels are closer to something that you want to mag flip to, then your mag flip is gonna be stronger. Which is obviously like if this is going to be unlocked by somebody, it's going to be like massive. I've not really played this map also, to be honest. I don't really
The
know
other-
where I'm going.
The other thing I noticed with mag flips is if your nose is pointing away from, say, a wall, if your nose is pointing in the opposite direction, I don't know what triggers it, but that also helps trigger a mag flip from
Okay.
a further distance, and speed as well. So the faster you go, the more likely you are to be able to execute one.
Yeah, and also the faster the speed of the mag flip is. If you're faster, then
Yeah.
the mag flip is also gonna be faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all of these little mechanics that are they have so much potential to still unlock stuff that we have not seen. And I think, to be honest, that the whole intention of mag flips in the beginning was just so when you flip or you don't have your flip anymore and you land at you want to land on a sidewall, or maybe also you want to land on a one of those like slightly tilted road pieces. Then you have the tool now to orient your car so you land directly on it without your car like spinning out or sliding off into a weird direction. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like using mag flips, air roll for like recoveries in, say, Rocket League when you've been bumped, and you use it to orient your car into the correct sort of direction, I guess you could say.
Right? Oh,
I think I would have beat you if I had my final turbo, and I got my final turbo as I was leaving the tunnel. That was
close one. Wait, how much? Damn, that was very
That was
close.
very, very close.
The double flip saved me. The B hop saved me. I don't know if the B hop actually did anything. But yeah, the potential is so high for stuff to still be unlocked, and the skill ceiling I don't think has been been reached, like not even close.
And I will say, as well, between the fact, because of the fact that this high level community, high level sort of group of people is made up of Rocket League players, Fortnite players, speedrunners, is that those discoveries will come fast. They are coming faster. I know you said before that the game was young, so how can you say all the mechanics are learnable? But
Yeah.
I think we're discovering mechanics at a very fast rate because of how experienced those top players are in finding them in other games, learning them in other games.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's very exciting to see what's around the corner, because I feel like for example, with the bunny hopping, I was doing it. Somebody mentioned it might be possible to. Oh, it was when Python came out, and Ewars had that run where he just touched his wheel down on top of that
On top of the
hill.
bridge or the
Yeah, on top of the
because
bridge.
he did the triple flip, right? So he flipped
Yeah,
off, then he touched the hill, flipped, and then he touched this one pillar on the bridge and flipped again, and got like an insane speed throughout the section. That's what you're
yeah.
talking
So
about, right?
yeah. So then I was in a private practicing using air roll to touch a tire down to do those flips, right?
Yeah, I remember that you mentioned that to me actually. That you talked about you talked about b hopping before b hopping was a thing.
Yeah, and then so like I don't think anything of it. I think I went away for a couple of weeks, and then I come back and everybody's doing it, and it's called the double flip or the triple flip or the B hop or the,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn,
damn.
like air roll is we're onto something, really onto something.
Yeah, and you were like one of the only people that I know that actually from the start were very convinced that
About
like
air roll.
this is gonna be useful. Like you practiced air roll a lot and did stuff with it in games randomly. It's like I know also that people who do this, like you are going to have a very big advantage in learning these mechanics. Like for example, Spuns will also have a very big advantage in learning that because I mean if you watch Spun's stream, like he just does like stupid shit all the time, just like air rolling around, like doing weird things. And there's one particular thing that I don't know if it's faster that he does, but he always it's on what's the map called? It's on Mine Mayhem, where he comes through this section. I mean everybody who knows the stream and who knows what Spuns does there will know what I'm talking about. But basically he comes through that section, turns his car completely around by air rolling, and then flips and gets two double boost pads instead of one double boost pad. And I'm convinced that it's quicker. I don't know. I've not seen speedrunners do it. I'm too shit to attempt it anyways. Like I cannot air roll anyhow. But yeah, stuff like this is also it's also very likely to improve or increase the skill ceiling.
Yeah, I mean nobody was good at air roll at Rocket League at first, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you watch, and that's also one thing that actually I said in the comment that I left on this YouTuber's video, that like if you look at pro Rocket League gameplay, because he's also a Rocket League player, so he should know this. If you look at pro Rocket League gameplay from 5 years ago,
Yeah.
it's basically like GC or champ level right now. The rate at which people are improving is insane. The rate at which mechanics are well not the rate, but the mechanics are sometimes discovered which make the game faster in general. So like I don't know, in Rocket League, wave dashing, the flip reset raised the skill ceiling. Then there was like, there's a lot of stuff that's being discovered constantly, even in a game that is as old as Rocket League. So there's a lot of stuff that could still happen in this game as well. So yeah, just made me a little bit mad that he just said that. Also, obviously, because we are really trying to.
I think it's
you snatched it from me. Because we are obviously trying to do something positive for the player base, and then someone just comes along and just like lies about stuff or says stupid things. I mean, he also just flat out lied about stuff in the video and said stuff that is already patched out, like bugs that are already patched out. He said that he has a bug that sometimes his drift doesn't activate and his controller is fine, like he checked the controller, blah blah. But nobody has this fucking bug, only him. So obviously it's a he problem, and I've seen his gameplay when he complains about not being able to drift, and it's places like, for example, he tries to initiate a drift right before going over a ledge, and your car does literally not have enough time to get into the drift, and then he's complaining, I got the bug again, and I'm just like, dude, no, this is not a bug, this is you not understanding the game mechanics. And that just made me mad. I have something else to talk about though. The current drama about Zen Ghost hogging rank 1. have you been? Do you know about the drama?
I know a little bit. I know that I know that it's a thing. Like, I thought it was legit, right? Until I think it was Rocket Racing Sundays, and somebody mentioned no, they're not playing at all.
I think it was probably Spuns, because Spuns is very upset, obviously, because he was rank 1 last season and he really wants to have it again. And the thing is, okay, I'm gonna explain first for the listeners who maybe don't know what's happening. So basically, if you played in the hours right before the last season ended, and then you played, I think you just played one game in the new season, you would retain your MMR and your rank. Basically, if you don't play more. And that's why Zenghost right now is rank 1, even though he did not earn it, he does not deserve it. I think he was rank 30, which is still a good rank. Like, he's like, comparatively to the whole player population, he's a good player, but he does not deserve rank 1. He does not deserve it now. He didn't deserve it then. And he apparently said, that's what I heard. It could be hearsay, I don't know. Don't want to throw too much shade on people that I don't know. But apparently he said he was going to keep it. He's not going to play on his main account and just basically keep rank 1 away from everybody, which I don't think will work until the end of the season. Because first of all, there's people who just play a lot more, and I think, like, even if he was rank 1, even if he was rank 30 in the last season, and the last season was longer, so you had a lot more time than you are probably going to have this season to get MMR. I think there was still a huge difference in MMR between, like, him and for example Spuns, who was rank 1. So he said he's gonna not play. He's gonna try to remain rank 1 for as long as possible. And yeah, some people like Spuns are obviously and understandably very upset about that.
It's a little bit funny though.
It is a little bit funny, but at the same time, it's a little bit annoying, because some people do actually care about having that rank, and especially, and I can definitely understand someone like Spuns there, because for people who do not know the game, or who are not into the community as much, and who know that the top 100 rankings actually do not tell you who's the best player. Having the rank 1 bragging rights is a very nice tool for getting attention and for getting clicks, and for Spuns as a streamer, this could be something very important for him, right? Like, having the rank 1 Rocket Racing player as a stream title is something that he constantly had in the last season, and now he cannot have that anymore until he dethrones Zenghost, which I think definitely is gonna happen, because I mean, Spuns is a very good player and he plays a lot, which is the perfect combination to reach rank 1 again. But yeah, it's a situation, and it's apparently also difficult to reach out to him, because he's not as involved in the Discord community where we are all the time, and where all the other people hang out. So he is active on TikTok, I've heard. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird situation. Even in a small arcade racing game like Rocket Racing, there's some drama.
I mean, you remember Rocket Racing Royale, right?
Oh yeah. We're not gonna talk about Rocket Racing Royale here, but there was also some stuff going down.
Yeah, we can talk about Base Old Borough though, the track that we mentioned earlier. I said,
right.
Which one's that one?
Yes, that's.
And you said, it's the difficult one. Yeah,
now I know
exactly
that's the
what
one.
you're talking about.
That's probably the first one. Like, once I actually get into practicing these maps, this is probably gonna be the first one that I try to practice, because this is very difficult. Like, specifically this place here, so weird, because your car does some strange stuff, and if you flip at a weird time, I've died like 5 times there already.
Yeah.
I do know this trick though.
Oh, I lost all my turbo. I lost all my boost, all my drift boost.
So I have watched Dylan's run on this. Okay, this is not what Dylan does. He has a lot more speed here. What?
Also, that tunnel is really messes with you as well.
Yeah, getting out of that tunnel is very strange. But yeah, this map is very difficult. I don't think it's necessarily bad though. I think it's just
no, I don't think it's bad. Yeah.
Very difficult. Oh no, I should not have turboed here. I forgot that the tunnel is coming up. Yeah, this map is definitely difficult.
I'm having a nice run though. I'm like taking slightly different route than usual. Oh no.
Oh.
I just did a 360 spin.
Okay, you're still in front of me though. I can see you. Oh, got both pads, nice.
Be careful on the start finish line. It literally just bounced me up off nothing.
Oh yeah, that happened to me at the start actually. I don't know if that's something that is intended or not. I would assume it's not.
Oh no!
Oh, here's my chance. Okay. Focus up. Do the tunnel drift. This feels so nice. I love this section when it works. Whoa! I just did a nice mag flip actually. At least I think it's nice. I have to ask Dylan if it's actually nice. Because not every mag flip is actually nice.
I'm just hoping you make some mistakes here.
Nope. I'm not gonna go through the difficult bit. I'm just gonna fly to the finish. With 2 turbos.
Yeah, well I got second.
Nice.
That's a shame.
The last question of the day is gonna be, you have to tell me one thing that you would like to add to Rocket Racing and one thing that you would like to remove.
Okay. That's a good question, and also, I think it would be really good for the first one for you to also answer that.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer after you tell me though. So I'm curious what you're gonna say. I don't want to bias you.
Okay.
What?
Definitely.
Wait.
Sorry.
Go.
Go.
My screen just went black for a second and I crashed, like completely black. Okay. Now go on. Sorry.
One thing that I would add, I don't know if it's the thing that I would want the most, but one thing, like for me personally, but one thing they absolutely should add is what we were talking about before, like a top rank cap. So like the Apex Predator rank.
Yeah, like Challenger in League of Legends.
Yeah. So, but you know the way, I don't know how League of Legends does it, but I'm pretty sure that on Apex is platform based. So you could still be you could be maybe, I don't know, maybe the 1000th top player in the world. But if you're on a specific platform, you would be the Apex Predator of that platform, right?
Yeah, but I think
that's how it works. Maybe they changed it, but
I think they are probably doing that because Apex is a shooter game, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's always this discussion about like controller and keyboard for shooters. So that's probably why they are doing it, which would not be necessary for Rocket Racing.
Potentially. But yeah, I would definitely like to see an Apex Predator rank. I think if somebody said to me, we're gonna add one thing tomorrow, that was what it would be.
That's a very good one. I really agree with that. I think it would be very nice, and this would also get people, like, give people something to grind for, besides just getting Unreal, and it would make the ranks maybe feel a little bit more significant again.
Yeah. Oh no, I gripped the ground. But yeah. That's what it needs to be. There just needs to be. If we're gonna have a linear ranked path where, anybody can get Unreal as long as they play long enough and get lucky with the lobbies, then we certainly should have. Sorry, locking in for the end.
Yeah.
The place secured. We definitely should have, an exclusive rank that you have to be the best and regularly beat the best to be in.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. That would be a very nice thing to add. And what's the thing that you would like to remove?
Can I say the subreddit?
No, it has to be something in the game.
No. One thing I would like to remove.
It can also be a bug, for example, or a map.
Oh, I don't know.
They need to remove Sengos from rank 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe this doesn't make the game any better or any worse, but in my opinion, they should remove the speedrun only tracks.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I disagree with that a little bit because I do enjoy some of them. But maybe they should make them like the third version of a map. Like you have Dust Up 2, Dust Up 1, 2 and 3 or something,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the idea of sprint races A to B. It's not going to work on a speedrun map, obviously, but unless we were getting speedrun sessions in ranked with those, really, I don't really know why they're still in the game. But
Right.
that's just my opinion. Like I said, it doesn't make the game better. It doesn't necessarily make the game worse, unless you like those tracks.
Yeah.
It's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, don't tell Ski. Because he loves some of those. Okay, so for me, the one thing that I would add, and this could be controversial for some people, is actually like a Mario Kart mode. And the reason is...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the reason
Sorry,
is
sorry.
not because I would like to play it all the time, or I really want this in the game myself, but I know that a lot of other players do. And I think that if so many people are asking for it, then this could really help get more people into the game and give this a bigger player population overall. So I think if they just like gave us a rocket racing rumble mode, which I honestly
Yeah.
I'm convinced that they are keeping that in mind and that they are working on that. Because how can they not? Because this is one of the biggest things that people are asking for all the time, and they already have all the items that they could use in Rocket League anyways. So yeah, I think this would be a very nice thing for a lot of people. Dude, some wild stuff just happened to me.
I know, like I think I mentioned earlier, like the guys that I play Rocket League with who played this early with me and was just like, yeah, not for me. There's nothing here. Have said they would come back for a rumble mode.
Right. Okay. Nice.
And I would play the hell out of a rumble mode.
I think it would be a very nice thing for playing casually with friends, and then maybe more people will realize that the game itself is also better than it was at launch, and give it another fair shot.
Yeah, I think it could. Hopefully that's some good logic.
But I
can't
do
see
think
why
if
they wouldn't be. Yeah.
I think if I had to put my money on whether or not they do have this planned, I would definitely put my money on they do. I'm convinced that they are working on this behind closed doors.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah. And
I've just remembered one that I think actually would probably supersede what I said, which was to add the Apex Predator type rank. I think a functioning spectator mode.
oh hell yeah!
That is what I would add.
Yes. I don't think it is more important than the rumble mode.
No, like I said, that doesn't really for me It's like the removing some maps. It doesn't make the game necessarily better or worse.
No, yeah, true.
But it allows the game to be, it allows us to broadcast community events, right? And
Yes.
that's what's so great about Rocket League.
So what would I remove? This is difficult because I think that I'm right now not that aware of like major bugs ruining people's fun. Like the ramp bug obviously was a big thing. I know that there's still some bugs that are annoying for a lot of speedrunners, but I'm not really noticing them that much. So yeah, I might just say Thresh Mountain, which is luckily going to be removed as far as I know at least, and I'm assuming it's gonna happen. Wait, is it the like 17th or whenever the Metallica collab is over? Wait, B-Hop
Didn't mind
failed.
it.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I hated it from the start, and also this is the only reason why I would agree with your point of removing the speedrun tracks from the game, because it just feels a little bit pointless for me to play them because I'm never going to encounter them in ranked. So and that's why I kind of understand that point, and to the same point I kind of like with the same kind of reasoning. I would like to remove Thresh Mountain because if it's going to be removed anyways, just remove it now. I'm not practicing it. I'm not having fun on it because of that. I don't think it's well designed either. The roads are way too big, way too many like repetitive, just long drifts. There's not a lot of exciting stuff going on at all.
Yeah, but I would like to see more long A to B, like sprint tracks.
Oh yeah, sprint tracks. I think, and I think I talked about this with you before, or maybe somebody else. But like the idea of having sprint tracks, I think is super cool because it totally changes up the way you practice a map. Because now you're not practicing, like you have to practice a lot more things. And imagine you have a sprint style track with the complexity of like Conduit or something.
Yeah.
Okay, nice third for the last game.
Fourth for me. I'll take that.
So yeah, thanks a lot for being here and taking your time to accompany on this Road to Unreal journey. And yeah, to everybody who's listening, I hope that you're gonna join the Rocket Racing Dynasty Discord channel and give Rocket Racing Sundays a try. If you have any questions about it, you can also just leave it in the comments or reach out to us directly on Discord. We're always happy to answer questions about that. And also, if you know some content creator or some streamer that you would like me to have here on the, let's just call it the Road to Unreal podcast, then just let them know, and then we can maybe arrange some stuff.